Hey guys, today I'm going to get my seeds started. I am in zone 9B, and so I'm actually a bit late on starting some of these seeds, but just to get myself started, I have a seed starting tray that I've used multiple times. I have an impulse buy that I got when I was out buying seeds. It's just a reusable tray. It wasn't that great of a deal, but I'll let you know if it works really well. So in addition to the trays, we're going to try this method out. I have 3 of these that I'm going to do this year. I'm just going to try one now, but I saw this in a Facebook group that I'm in, and then I think I've seen a couple people use it on YouTube. And then I always keep my, I guess it's not cells, but the little pots that everything comes in when you buy seed starts, or not seed starts, when you buy transplants, that's the word, from the nursery. I always keep them, wash them, reuse them, unless they are broken or anything. But you just have to make sure, same with your cells, if you're reusing anything, to just sanitize it in between. And I did that with vinegar. I think you can also do it with hydrogen peroxide. And then you can always use, I have things that I've also used in the past, just like food containers. I always keep them handy. So sour cream tubs work great. Again, you're going to have to wash and sanitize things. I just really like using food containers because in addition to, you already know it's food safe, you don't have to worry about the plastic necessarily. They also generally come with lids that if you're growing, like sometimes it doesn't look the prettiest, but sometimes I grow herbs like in my kitchen window and I'll grow them in something like this. I just use the lid underneath it as a way to keep the water off the counter. So that's just a kind of affordable tip if you're just wanting to try ways to save some money on seed starting supplies. So today I have some leftover seed potting mix, and I just decided to go ahead and use it. No point in throwing it out. I would prefer not to use it because it's not organic, but since I have it, I'm going to use it. Yeah, it'll be fine. And then I also have a block of coco coir or coco coir. I don't know how people pronounce it, but I have a block of it soaking up water down here on the floor. I just took a block, poured water on it. Here, I'll just pull it over this. Like, it just kind of, once it turns from a block into this soil. And so I'll show you what the block looks like. So this is what it looks like when you get it from Amazon or your nursery. My nursery didn't have any this year. It's a compressed block, and you just rehydrate it with water. So we're gonna get started. Let me show you the seeds real fast, and I'm gonna rinse my hand off. So we've got our seeds, we've got our potting mix, we've got our cell trays and our reusable containers or recycled containers. And then I always recommend write it down. This is something that I always do. I actually plan it out. I make like a little graph and kind of put an idea of what I want to grow, and then that way I don't start 12 tomatoes if I'm only going to have room to plant 3 of them, or vice versa. You don't start 3 or 4 tomatoes and want to plant 12 if you had the space for that. So keep notes if you can. So I'm going to do just a couple of the zucchini, and this is a white patty pan squash. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start a fair amount of cucumbers. I really want to get good cucumbers this year, and I never have. So cucumbers, tomatillos. I don't know if you start these. I've never grown tomatillos before, but I really want to. So let's see. Oh yeah. Yep. I'm way behind. These should have been started. So I'm going to put these in priority. They should have been started. My last frost date is, I think, 3 weeks from now, and it says 8 weeks before your last frost date. I'm definitely going to start my tomatoes. I've always done them indoors. So I've got a heirloom beefsteak, aroma, and maybe I might do 1 or 2 cherry tomatoes. I haven't decided on the cherry tomatoes yet. We're going to try, I've never grown cayenne pepper before. My husband loves all things spicy. I have been growing Thai peppers and jalapeno peppers, and those have been doing really great in my garden. So I'm assuming cayenne's going to do great as well. But we're going to see. Yeah, we'll find out if we like them, if they grow well. I'll let you know. California Wonder Peppers. I'm starting these way too late, but I'm gonna do it. We're gonna see how it goes. These have never done well in my garden, probably because I always start too late and it gets too hot. They like them. They like it a little more cool than the hot peppers. So jalapenos, I have 2 thriving jalapeno plants. Well, they're in the same pot, so you could count them as one. But basically, if this doesn't work out, that's okay, but I'm gonna do jalapenos. I am not gonna do parsley. I don't know why it's in this list. Yeah, because I'm already growing parsley and I don't need it. Cilantro we grow directly in the garden. Oregano I've never grown from transplant. I've always just sown it directly. This says that you can transplant it though. So I have 2 types of oregano, and honestly, they're 2 different brands, so they very well could be the same type of oregano, but I don't think so. This one just says Greek oregano, and this one just says oregano. So oregano, we are definitely gonna start some basil. I have a few basils. And then we're gonna do dill, but I don't know if I need to do those yet. So dill, I'm gonna sow directly in the garden, so we're not gonna do those yet. And then I don't think we're gonna do these yet either. No, I'm gonna try corn again this year. I never do enough research to get corn going right. And I haven't really done much research this year either, but last year I had pretty good, like it was going pretty well at the transplant stage. It was once it went in my garden, I didn't hand pollinate. So I think that's where I went wrong last year, but I'm gonna go ahead and try some corn, and then I've never grown lavender. I tried to, I got none of this germinated. It's actually the same seed packet. So I don't know what I did wrong. So we're just gonna try it again. I sort of figure, why not? Let's give it a shot. Well, let's just start right in front of us. So I've got the zucchini. I'm actually gonna use these ones. Yeah. So I've got these 2. I think I'm just gonna do 2 zucchinis in this one and 2 scallop squash in this one. For now, that's what we're gonna start with, is just 2 of each. And then to prepare this seed starting soil, I just you've gotta hydrate the soil first, prehydrate it. And I use boiling water because I'm gonna keep these indoors, or at least some of these are gonna be kept indoors. It kills off any like bug, eggs, that kind of thing. We've got our zucchini. Ooh, way too many. All right. 1, 2. I always put 2 in each hole. That's zucchini. Those should be far enough apart that what I'll do is when I go to transplant this, I'll break it apart so that it'll be 2 separate plants. And then if all 4 of those seeds happen to germinate, I will cut back the 2 weaker ones. Zucchini, done. Squash. So I've used this seed starting mix before, well obviously since that was an open bag, and I've used coco coir before, and I have noticed a difference with some of the seeds in germination, but unfortunately I did not take notes when that happened, so I don't know whether it was the seed starting mix that did better or the coco coir. So we're gonna find out again this year, and hopefully making a video will help me remember more, and I can always look back on that. Cover those up, and then don't forget to label them. So this one's zucchini, this one's scallop squash. So I'm gonna put zook, started on 2, 4. When I move these into the garden, I take this tag and I write when I transplanted them as well. I probably should write how many I'm doing, but I'm not. Oh, I don't know if you can even see this, but I forgot to mention, I also have onion sets and potato sets, or potato seeds that I'm gonna use this year, but obviously I'm not, well, I guess maybe it's not obvious, but I'm not gonna put those here. Those will go directly into the garden. So, all right, I guess let's move on to filling some of these. All right, let's see. I don't even remember the last time I tried these, what lavender seeds look like. Usually flower seeds are pretty tiny though. Yeah. I don't think you want to cover these too much because the seeds are so tiny. Yeah, it says to just press them gently into the seed starting mix and to keep them very moist. Lavender, 2-4. I think I'm going to do my tomatoes and my tomatillos in the burpee tray. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try. I don't know what a tomatillo seeds look like. Probably pretty close to tomato seeds, I would think. Yeah, they just look like little tomato seeds. Okay, so now the question is which seed starting mix to use. I think I'm going to try to do half and half. I'm just gently pressing it in so that they're full. Normally I would do this outside, but our weather lately here in Southern California has been really, really windy, and when you're dealing with seeds, you don't really want to start them or try to planting them when there's a lot of wind around, because you will probably lose some seeds. And these packets also, they get caught in the wind really fast. So, all right, I want to bring this up so you guys can see it. So there you go. There's the block. It's fully hydrated and it's just a big pile of dirt now. So we're going to go ahead and fill this up with that. I'm not really going to be worried if some of the coco coir ends up in the seed starting mix, because it's probably one of the ingredients, honestly, in the seed starting mix. You don't want to use your own garden soil when you're starting seed mix, because, well, for a few reasons. If you're doing them indoors and you bring in your own garden soil, you're probably going to get a lot of bugs in your house, and then you won't be happy. And then you also, depending on the kind of soil you have, it might not be optimal for growing seeds. So the reason I buy seed starting mix is because it's really nice and fluffy and light, and so the seeds can germinate and grow and put down roots really easily in this. So, all right, tomatillos. These are labeled here. Okay, so I've got the coco coir in C and D and the potting mix in A and B. So I think I'm just going to go down a row, so it's 2 in the potting mix and 2 in the coco coir, so I can just tell if there is a difference. And please let me know if I'm saying that wrong, the coco coir, because honestly, I really don't know. So I also don't know how well these germinate, so they're so tiny. I'm going to put 2 or 3 in each tray. All right, so these are the tomatillos, which I can't just write Tom because that would be confusing, because that could be tomatoes. So I'm going to put Tomty and 2-4. So all of row 1 is tomatillos. Now for the beefsteak tomato. These are heirloom seeds, so I can save seeds from this plant next year. And I plan on canning them this year. I've never canned tomatoes. I'm really excited to try it. I love pasta sauce and pizza sauce, and I use diced tomatoes all the time, so I'm going to try that this year. So this is my beefsteak. I'm going to do 4 of the aromas, 4 cells of the aromas. Yeah, I think the last row I'm going to do 2 jalapenos and 2 cherry tomatoes. Just because I don't need more jalapenos. I already have a plant. And I don't know if I want the cherry tomatoes. I love everything cooked with tomatoes, but I don't really love raw tomatoes. A good rule of thumb, if you're wondering how deep to go with, how deep to plant the seeds, is generally seeds get planted at the depth of like how big the seed is. So pumpkin seeds are big seeds, and they're going to need to be planted a bit deeper than tomato seeds, which are little tiny seeds. And so that's probably why the lavender, it says to just press into the soil. That is a good guideline, rule of thumb, but it is not always true. So always read your packet. So I'm going to put Roma Tom 2-4. And then the last row, we're gonna do 2 cherry and 2 jalapeno. Now our jalapenos. Oh, I didn't think about that. So the cherry tomatoes are gonna be in the potting mix, and the jalapenos are gonna be in the coco coir. Jalapenos and tomatoes are done. Oh, I need to label it. And there you go. This is ready. There you go. First one done. Okay, so got our seed starting mix. I'm just going to finish this off. And then I'll fill this back up with the coco coir from underneath me. If you do not like getting your hands dirty, gardening is probably not your hobby. My husband, I was pouring the boiling water on the seed starting mix, and he goes, "Ew, it smells like dirt." And I just laughed, because most gardeners, if you garden, love the smell of fresh soil. And so, yeah, just, you know, everybody's a little different. Okay, let's do a whole bunch of corn. Oh, I'm going to do a few of them. Okay. I'm going to fill these ones with the coco coir. 2, 2, 2. I think I'm going to do 12. Gosh, I can't remember how many I planted last year. I might have planted 15. You know what? I'm just going to do 16. I think I'm going to use up this whole packet this year, which is fine. This packet is very... I don't think I even bought it last year. Oh, I did. Okay. They're used by 2020. They're not that old. All right, here we go. So I think the peppers, I'm going to wait and do those in separate jars. So we're going to do, we'll just do basil right now. We're going to just do 4 basil. And I have 2 packets. One packet is really old. So we're going to do, we're going to put a bunch of seeds, maybe 3 or 4 in each hole, or in each cell, because I am not convinced that these seeds will germinate. And this is my sweet basil. Somebody gave me these seeds a few years ago, and they have been doing really well. Every year they germinate pretty well. They are so easy. They're pelleted seeds, and they're also colored. Probably not the most organic thing, because I don't know what they're colored with. Oops, that's way too many. But I do actually like pelleted seeds. The nice thing too about pelleted seeds is if you don't have enough soil over them, you can actually still see the seed really easily. Make sure when you are done with your seed packets, if you didn't use the whole thing, that you store it somewhere where water won't get in it, or you will lose all of your seeds because they'll try to germinate. Oops. All right, let's do cucumbers now. I'll do one of each. So this is it's called homemade pickle. That's the variety of cucumber that this is. So I'm just going to do 4 cells of each cucumber, which will leave me with 12 cucumbers. I'm going to put home pickle cuke. Next set of cucumbers. Space Masters. I grew these last year. Did not grow really well. So we're going to try a bit better this year. See if we can get them to produce more fruit. My daughter's going to be up any minute now, so I'm trying to rush this. Okay, so those are Space Master cucumbers. All right. Now the Pickle Bush. I'm kind of excited about these. All right, Pickle Bush. You know what? I think I'm going to do another half of a tray of Pickle Bush and another half of a tray of the homemade pickle ones, because I would really love to be able to pickle some cucumbers this year, make pickles, and also relish. So this is all Pickle Bush. And we're going to make this half Pickle Bush. And then I also need to make another label for my homemade pickle cuke. If you hear anything in the background, it's my daughter. My husband just got her up from a nap. All right, done with the pickles. So we're gonna do the peppers in another tray, and we're gonna make this last one here for oregano. I don't know if this is actually a different type of oregano because the Fairy Morse one just says oregano. These seeds are really tiny. Yeah, you almost don't even know they're probably all over here. I don't even know. Oh gosh, these might be a different variety. These seeds are even smaller. Okay, so I'm going to say this one's Greek oregano and this one's just oregano. Just the peppers is all we have left, which I'm going to do in these burpee cups here. All right, California Wonder, California Wonder. I almost forgot about this. So we're going to try to do the cayenne peppers in here because I know they like it hot. So I'm going to try it here, and then I'm going to try one on the heat mat indoors. So this is going to be outside. And the nice thing about having something like this is that if you know that you're about to have a frost, or if your temperatures are going to just dip to being too cold for whatever your seeds you're growing, it's really easy to just bring inside. Here we go, cayenne peppers. And then what you do is you duct tape this closed, probably so it's easy to carry around. I don't know why, they just duct tape them closed. I did put drainage holes on the bottom, and so I can either water it from the top. You're supposed to leave this open so that there's a little bit of air, like it needs airflow. But I might water them from the bottom. We'll see. I've never tried this before. We'll just find out how it goes. So I think I'm going to do one more. I'm going to try to see if I can appropriate my sour cream containers to do more California peppers and the bell peppers, the California Wonders, and the cayenne. So let's see what options I have. Oh, look what I found. I have one more of these. All right. And I have one more of these. All right, perfect. I don't have to do that. We're just going to use these two then. I think I'm going to do the cayennes. We'll do the cayennes in the small. And then we'll fill whatever is left in that. I don't even know if I have enough soil to fill that up. You know what, I don't. And I really want to do these California Wonders. I can always start more cayennes later. So I'm going to do California Wonder in this one. I changed my mind. All right, now I want to do more. Oh, I didn't label this. I'm just going to write it directly on the jug. So this is cayenne 2, 4. I want to grow more cayennes, but I don't have enough soil to fill this whole thing. I have this. I think we're going to try this. Got to put drainage holes in it. Good enough. Put some cayennes in here. All right, I'm gonna be a little worried about this one getting enough light. Okay, our seeds are all ready to go, at least this first set. So we have California Wonders over here, and then a little one right there. We've got zucchini, squash, cayenne pepper, some more cayenne pepper in this experiment we're doing here. These are all tomatillos, beef steak tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, jalapenos. These are, if you can hear my daughter laughing in the background, it's so cute. Oregano, there are two different kinds. We've got, oops, it's trying to focus on my hand. We've got homemade pickle cucumbers, pickle bush cucumbers, more pickle bush cucumbers, and more homemade pickle bush or homemade pickle cucumbers. I probably need to swap those so it's not confusing. Space Master cucumbers, lavender, we'll see how that goes. Sweet basil, Genovese basil, I don't know if that's the same thing, but that's what those two are. 4 trays of corn. We're gonna see how that goes this year. If you look and see the dark ones, it's pretty easy to tell now, I guess. The dark ones are the potting mix, and the light ones are the cocoa coir. And I am going to put some of these outside in a tub like that, so they'll get pulled in at night, put out during the day. And then some of these will be grown up there under my little grow light setup that's very sad, next to my plant that needs to be watered. So there you go. My seeds are started. Here's some more seeds that we're going to grow. There's more seeds over there. We have a lot of seeds. And then our seed potatoes and our onion sets, those will also go in the garden as well. Thanks for joining me today and for joining some experiments that I'm going to be doing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to see future videos, see how these seedlings go, see how this experiment goes with the gallon container, and whether or not the corn is actually going to grow, and how we're going to use this food. One of my goals is to use as much of my garden food myself. I tend to not plant way more than I can use, but what ends up happening sometimes is I just don't have the time or don't know what to do with some of the stuff I get from the garden, and I end up just giving it away, which is totally fine. But this year, since my daughter is, she's turning 1 soon, so she's right at that perfect age to try new foods, I would like to get as much of this into our diet as I can. So if you subscribe, you'll see some videos in the future, probably spring and summer, where we're going to use the things we grow in the garden in the kitchen. So I've got seeds starting here. I actually already have some things growing in the garden. I've got fruit trees in the back that are covered in flowers, and yeah, it'll be a fun spring and summer, and hopefully we can push this even further into the fall. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.